So I just got onto GeoGebra.org. You should be signed in, but I'm not going to. So I need to click the purple button that says Start Graphing. Took me to this. I do not want to graph a line. I want to draw stuff. So I'm going to click on the Tools button that's the overlapping circle and triangle. If I want more buttons, which I do, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and click More. So now I see all these options. I think this grid and axes are distracting. So I'm going to click on the gearbox. Again, that was over on the top right. Gearbox, uncheck axes, uncheck grid, no grid. Now I have a blank slate. So one of the criteria that we said we had to use was a set of parallel lines. I'm going to draw a piece of paper. Yeah, it's kind of boring, but I'm going to do it. I want to draw a parallel line. So first I need to draw a line to then draw another line parallel to it. So I need my line options. I have all these different lines. We have line segment, a line, array, a vector, a segment with a given length, and so on. But we just want a line. So I'm going to draw the top of the line, well, top of the paper, and then I want to draw some parallel lines to that. So I'm going to click the parallel line button, which is under construct. So first I can pick the line, notice how it got bold, and then I can drag it down to where I want it to be. So let's just say this is the heading, top of the page, so it needs to be quite big. I could do that again. I can click the point first, and then pick the line I want it to be parallel to. So I could do this over and over again to draw the pages, but I don't think that looks good, so I'm going to actually get rid of those two and just keep this one set of parallel lines. Next, on the criteria, I wanted to draw a perpendicular line, so I could choose again, I could select a point and then choose a line perpendicular to it, or I could do it vice versa. Again, perpendicular, choose the line and the point perpendicular to it. So I can go in either order, it doesn't matter. So I have the set of parallel lines, the set of perpendicular lines. I'm just going to be a little extra here and draw the holes in my piece of paper. You don't need to do this, it's not the requirement. But here I go trying to draw the circles in my paper. If I want to drag the picture down, I have to change to the cursor, back to the circle, which is down at the bottom. I can even do parts of circles here and so on. Go back up to top, click the cursor, go back to the top. All right, so I have my piece of paper. I also needed to draw a shape that had the interior and then change the color of the interior. So for that, I need to go down to polygons. And I'm just going to choose a polygon. You can make all these other things, but polygons just be the easiest. I'm going to try to draw a turkey because it's almost Thanksgiving time. So I'm going to just draw it the best I can. All right, here's my turkey. I'm going to also draw the leg. Ends up always being a bit darker than the rest of the turkey. The letters are getting in my way. So now we're going to have a really goofy looking leg. Okay. We'll come back to that. I want to change the color of it. So if I go back to the cursor, first off, maybe let's get rid of all of these. So I'm just choosing, I'm holding down Shift. Nope, I'm holding down Alt, holding down Control, so I can choose multiple points at once. If I do that, and then click with 2 fingers on the trackpad, I can go to Settings and get rid of Show Label. So that's one way to get rid of the labels on it. We could also do that, again, 2 fingers on the trackpad, press down, go back to Settings, and that's how we can change the color. So I want a nice brown. For it, I can change the opaqueness of this by changing this from 0 to 100. Let's do it a little bit see-through. So you can kind of see how you can color it, change the color. Just want to get you used to trying to change a little bit of stuff on it. If we wanted to fill in the circle, that is a great question of how we can do that. Looks like I'm just using changing the actual color of the edge of the circle and the points, not the interior. So that's a great question for how can we color in the inside of a circle. So if one of you guys will figure that out, you can tell me how to do it or tell the class. We also needed to measure the slope of a line and to measure an angle. So those are in our measure parts. The first one, measure, which is the first one in the angle, or if it's the pop down menu, angle. So we need to pick 2 lines to measure. 2 lines that form the angle. So this one is 114.85 degrees. If we right click on that, we can again try to change some settings. Like we could say we only want between 1 and 180, which, I'm sorry, 0 and 180, which might solve some of the issues we were having yesterday. Notice how sometimes when I just keep clicking, it's still in measure angle mode. If I wanted to measure the slope, I can choose the slope measure one, which is over here on the left, looks like that red triangle. I just need to click on the line I'm measuring. It points it out to us. So, and it shows what the slope will look like. That's kind of getting a bit confusing. So again, I can choose a slope to measure. Let's use just right down here by the cavity opening for the turkey. I'll measure the slope of MN. That is negative 0.923, etc. So that's how you would use some of the basic tools on GeoGebra. Again, we did how to draw a parallel line, which is in the construct part. The one that looks like parallel lines, but first we actually have to draw a line. We also drew a perpendicular line. Sorry, hopefully that didn't make you yawn. Drew a perpendicular line. Then I drew some circles just for fun, but then I drew a polygon and showed you how to color in the inside of the polygon a different color, how to use our measure angle tool, and how to measure the slope. I think yesterday that's all the tools we used. We used them for different reasons, but that is all the tools we used. Let me know if you have any questions.